I saw a beautiful pshat from the Maharil Diskin, and he basically is explaining the famous medrash that says that Yosef HaTzadik, because he mentioned to the Sar HaMashkim to remember him to Parai, 2 years were added to his jail sentence. So the Maharil Diskin says a fascinating thing. The medrash begins, Ashrei HaGever Asher Som Hashem Miftachai, that Yosef HaTzadik was someone who personified the midah of Bitachon, V'lo pona el rehovim, and he did not turn to ministers. And it says because he spoke to the Sar HaMashkim, it was added on 2 years. So the Maharil Diskin takes a novel approach. He says a fascinating thing. Usually you understand that it was a punishment, but the Maharil Diskin says there are 3 types of Bitachon. One is a Bitachon where a person does nothing and just relies on Hashem 100%. The other method is where a person works as hard as he can work, and there's no discernible difference between him and somebody that has no Bitachon, but he doesn't rely on his hard work, he relies totally on Hashem. And the third, which is what the Maharil says is the commendable, the derech hamemutza, the median, is to go ahead and to do some small hishtadlus, some hishtadlus which enables the ball to get rolling. He brings it on a pasuk of Goyel El Hashem, which is a lashon of galgel, which is you get the ball rolling, you do a small thing, and then you leave it up to Hashem. And he suggests that that's a derech hamemutza. So he says Yosef HaTzadik, he said it in an offhand way. Kiyim is kartani, was of a chartani. Like, by the way, if you're going to speak to Parai, mention it to him. And he says, because of that, the Sar HaMashkim thought, you know what, it's not so important to Yosef. He's doing well. He's the leader over here of the jail. He forgot it wasn't all that important. And it only came up later that he remembered when Parai needed to have his dream interpreted. So he says, because of that, it was a wonderful thing, he says. He says, if he would have been mentioned right away, he probably would have gotten out of jail, he probably would have gone back to Eretz Yisrael, and nothing would have became of his great empire. He would never have been the king. But since it was ordained that the time for Mitzrayim to go out of the famine was 2 years later, and it was the opportune time for him to rise L'Gedula, that's why Hashem made for his benefit that the Sar HaMashkim forgot till 2 years later. So we see an approach suggested by the Maharil Diskin to go ahead and just do something small. Let you go with the flow. Whatever comes up, you go for it, but you don't overly pursue it. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.